Okay, let's do it. So, I haven't done one of these reviews in probably a couple of years, year and a half, something like that. Not since Wildstar, I don't think. Either way, um, final impressions, or I should guess overall impressions of Black Desert Online. Where to start? Where to start? Well, graphics. Graphics are pretty damn good. I like the graphics a lot. Graphics are very well done for an MMO. Like, I mean, that's all I can really say. The game looks good. The game looks good. Let's see. Music is also surprisingly good. Like, it's very appropriate. The music is very appropriate no matter what you're doing in the game. I did not notice any music that was out of place. I didn't really notice anything that was like, why this doesn't suit the mood at all. The tomb part that I was in, with the tablets and all that, the music was not what I was expected, but it still fit the mood. I thought it was pretty nice. So I like the music overall. Let's see. Since I know a lot of people saw and heard my ramblings about the game's usability, based on other things I saw, the usability is nowhere near as abysmal as I thought it was. That was just because I saw other people fumbling through it and whatnot. The usability in this game is actually pretty good. The usability in this game is surprisingly good. I actually, like I mentioned earlier, I felt bad for criticizing it as being as bad as I thought it was. It's actually, the usability in this game is actually pretty damn good. I didn't notice anything like it was like super out of place. That was like, oh my god, this is garbage. There were a few things that were a little obscure, when they probably shouldn't have been. The guide, the little guide thing, like you can see it up in the top right here. It would have been nicer to know that that was there earlier than it did. People had pointed out to me. But it's still nice. It still gives you all of the videos that it shows you during the tutorial. So it's there. It's quick access. It's whatnot. So that's nice. I just wish it would have pointed me to that a bit earlier. I don't know. Overall, it's actually got surprisingly good usability. I feel bad for hating on it as much as I did, but that's why I wanted to do an impression after playing it myself instead of just watching it from other people's point of view. The questing is pretty run-of-the-mill. Questing is fetch quests and kill quests and blah blah blah. But this is a Korean MMO. I wasn't really expecting anything super innovative. Hi, friend. Hi, Fred. Hey, why you hit me? Just like side bump. But that being said, I don't really mind the questing in this game because of the next thing, which is the combat. The combat is actually really damn good in this game. I really enjoy the combat in this game. Felt a lot like Vindictus, which is my gold standard for combat, I guess you'll say. Like, when I compare combat in games, or when I look at combat in games, if it's like Vindictus, I'm having fun. And this is very, very reminiscent of Vindictus. I had a lot of fun with the combat. A lot of comboing stuff. There's a lot of things you can do. People were mentioning things about like skill canceling and animation canceling and whatnot, which that's further depth to the combat that I didn't even really touch on because I haven't learned how to animation cancel with anything in the game yet. So I know that's a whole different layer of things. It's still cool to know it's there. It's still cool to know that you can combo things up in ways that I didn't even know about. But even just doing the base stuff, I was having a lot of fun. Things feel pretty fluid, moving between your skills and whatnot. The giant had a little bit of wonkiness with some of his skills, but switching over the warrior, like, it was like, oh, this is really smooth. I didn't try out any of the other classes. I didn't try out what range combat feels like or anything like that, so I can't comment on it. That's combat. There were some weird things with, like, supposedly your damage doesn't... It was a whole bunch of weird stuff with the mathematics of the combat and dealing damage when you do hit things that I didn't really understand, but that's... I'm not going to worry about that. The combat felt good. It was fun. That's what's important as far as I'm concerned. It was fun to play. Let's just did a little thing and remind me that it's there. Energy in this game, it doesn't really bother me. It's not like the labor system in Arcade, which was something I was worried about going into this. It comes back relatively quickly. I've been told it regens pretty quickly. Supposedly you can't buy more of it in the gem store or the pearl store or whatever it is, cash shop. I didn't bother with any of that, but it doesn't bother me as much as labor does in Arcade. Oh, that's cool. Does little automatically hides things if you go away for a little bit. I don't really want to do that though, because yeah. The systems in the game, things like the economy, fishing. I didn't do anything with crafting. I don't know how that goes. I'm not gonna comment on it. I've been told the crafting is pretty involved. That's good to hear. I like crafting systems that are rather involved. The economy, the economic systems in this game seem pretty deep, pretty involved. There's things like nodes and trade routes and guilds owning things, and you have to move materials from one place to another. It feels fairly realistic for what it's trying to do, and I like that. I like that depth there. It makes you have to think a bit more about things. Someone mentioned that there was something about like the game regulates prices on the auction house trading post thing. Depending on how heavy-handed those regulations are, I can't say I do or don't like them, but some regulation in there isn't too bad. It prevents things from getting super inflated, or not super inflated, but priced too high by players. Fishing itself is actually pretty interesting. It was the last thing I did before giving my final impressions on stream, and yeah, it's like two little mini games wrapped into one. It was actually pretty neat. It's more fun than fishing in WoW, that's for example. Yeah, that's for sure. Is there anything I missed? Exploration is pretty neat. I was spending so much time just kind of going from area to area, doing things that I wasn't really focused on exploring, but it seems like it seems like a game where you can kind of go wherever. And someone was mentioning that like dungeons are not marked or anything like that, and you kind of just find them. And that's cool. I like exploration in games, and the more freeform you give me the exploration, the happier I'll be. Anything else I didn't touch on? Fully customizable UI. That is a thing. So if you want to move stuff around, I guess except for your health and menu and game tips, you can't move this around. But anything else you can move around. I guess a mini-map. Okay, these like 4 or 5 things you can't move around, but like anything else you can. You can even move your HP bar and all that. Like this kind of customization is good, and you can set the scale, you can reset it. I like that. It's more good usability. More stuff that kind of surprised me. The main menu is slightly different layout, but I'm not perturbed by it. It's just a different way of doing it. There's a die system that I actually didn't really do much with. I've been told it's kind of like the first version of Guild Wars 2's, where you get a die and you apply it, rather than just unlock it. PvP and whatnot I didn't touch on. The whole guild stuff I didn't touch on at all, so can't comment on it. Just get rid of that. One thing I really like, this is also in Vindictus, but I figured it's worth mentioning. You can just click of control and cursor on, cursor off, cursor on, cursor off. I don't know. I like it. Yeah, I'd say that's everything overall. One thing before I give my final overall, one thing that's pretty neat is with the combat, supposedly you don't get punished as much, or you're more, I should say you're more efficient. You're more efficient if you use your skills through the input, like mouse and keyboard, or not mouse and keyboard, keyboard. Restart that through the mouse and comboing and smart usage of movement combinations, all that, rather than using them through the hotkey bar thing. Like, if I use it with Q, it's not as resource intensive as if I do it with 2. I don't fully understand that. I'm not really gonna be too crazy about it, but it's just cool that there's something in the game that rewards you for playing it a bit more like an action game rather than typical MMO. Okay, so final thoughts, or I should say final verdict, even though I'm not really doing like an objective, like 1 through 10, 1 out of 10, 10 out of 10 thing. Would I want to pick this game up? Probably. Would I play this game? Probably. I should say, will I consider picking it up in the future and playing it? Probably. Do I like it as much as I Guild Wars 2? I think if I gave it more time, yeah. I think I would enjoy this game as much as Guild Wars 2 if I really put time into it and I really explored its systems and whatnot. It feels like one of those games where if I really got into it, I would enjoy it as much as Guild Wars 2. I'm not gonna switch this game because I don't have the time and I'm already really invested in Guild Wars 2 and all that stuff. However, I would say there's a pretty good chance that I'll play this game as well, like on the side. I'll play it casually, just like I do with Phantasy Star Online 2 or or Vindictus. One of those games where I still play it, I just don't play it as much as Guild Wars 2 or I'm not as hardcore on it. But yeah, you might see some Black Desert stuff come from me in the future, because I actually had enough fun to where I would feel like picking up the game. I'm really happy I actually gave the game a shot and tried it out for an impression rather than just going based off of other people's streams and videos and whatnot. I think I'm gonna hold off until they put Blader in the game, because I think I might want to play that for a variety of reasons, and that's not yet in the game as of this video / stream / whatever. So I think if I do pick it up, I'm gonna wait until they come out with that class, because that class looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, that's Black Desert Online. Thumbs up for me. I guess if you want to give it 2 thumbs up, sure. It's got some flaws, but not enough to really bother me. I've been told it's pretty sandboxy as far as the end game goes. I'm not going to comment on any of that because I obviously didn't get that far. But yeah, I'd say it's worth checking out. See if you like it. See if you can get a guest pass from someone before you buy it. But if you think it's worth it, go for it. If you think it's worth the $30 or $50, grab it if you think you like it that much. Otherwise, see if there's someone with a guest pass that you can nab. Like, that's what I'm running on right now, is a guest pass. Yeah, give it a shot. That's the verdict. Okay.